Okay, so at that point we can go like this. Stuff a dart out here. And now we're into the whole thing of what can a dart hit with an edited wall. I was like, well, I don't want to worry about that, so we're going to do this. At that point, you don't have to worry about the dart has the potential, at least, of having all 6 darts hit the target. And don't pay attention to the perks on this. I'm just grabbing whatever I got in my inventory for illustrative purposes at this point. Okay, so now I got a dynamo and a dart paired up there, and I know these are going to be smashers, so we're going to go zapper. Zapper up above, and I've unfortunately built it a bad spot, but we can do this. Right? We can put a hole in the wall. We can get our light back up on there. And we now have the potential to place a dart trap here, which I cannot because the amp is in the way, but you get the idea. Darts can go 3 tiles, so if we get a dart there, it's going to be able to shoot through that hole and hit whatever's there. We can do the same thing here. Now we're cooking with Crisco, right? Once the smasher gets here, gets hit by the wall light, gets knocked back, now we got him in the loop again, and we're giving our darts, all 3 of them, the invisible one we can't build, that one, and that one, we're giving all 3 of them an opportunity to reset, so that smasher is going to get hit twice in 12 seconds in this little scenario we got here where he comes in here and gets to this tile. Boom, got hit by the dart, gets knocked back, he's stunned, takes another step, gets stuck, and we're going to loop that. In the meantime, the darts fire every 6 seconds. The dynamos are a little tougher, they have a longer reset time, but since he's stuck in a loop, you're still eventually going to reset the dynamo as well. And if you really want to start getting kooky, some of you probably already thought of this while I was talking. We can go ahead and get ceiling electric field up there if you want a little extra. And these will shoot across this little wall and hit this tile. And I believe you could even go diagonal if you want to get nuts. They are going to make the hit. And we can just continue this pattern with everything here if the terrain is correct. Right? I guess I could have edited that, but I'm dumb, so here we go. There you go. And you get the idea. And you can even take this a little further. Remember we were saying if this was towards the front of your trap tunnel, you might want a sound wall here. Cool. Edit it. Throw a sound wall up there. Get behind here. And why not give him a dart? Why not give him a dart through the hole? Right? Because you're hoping the propane will have dropped the propane in concert with the sound wall. Go ahead and shoot him with a dart too. And if it's a smasher, we don't care. We want to hit him too. And you can start getting crazy. Throw your darts everywhere. At this point, I'm going to go to a completed tunnel because it's easier than me trying to illustrate this by building. I think most of you probably got the concept and maybe even be able to take it further than I have. With whatever your imagination brings up. So we'll come down to Valley Amp. This is where Wave 15 Smasher Wave and Twine Endurance takes place, as well as the Wave 25 UFO Smasher Wave takes place. I'm in the lower right-hand side of this area. Running from the amp, I just went to the right, came down this little valley. A lot of people block this off. That's cool. I'm not here to tell you this is the only way to do things. I'm not even here to tell you it's the right way to do things. All I'm here to tell you is this is how I did things. So I put my concept to work. Now, the key to this, the weakness, I guess, or key, however you want to think about it, There's a couple of things. A max durability tar pit's only going to garner you 121 uses or less. I'm at maximum survivor durability, so your results may be different. You're going to have to be aware of that. This is the trap I have down. 120 durability. And it's the maximum durability you could possibly have on a tar trap. The other issue is our wall lights, which have only 71 durability, which is really low, right? So the weak point to this strategy is you cannot let little husks get in here and burn up your tire trap or burn up your wall light. You got to reserve this trap scheme kind of for smashers only. Otherwise, it's worthless. Could burn this up probably in one wave if this was at the front of the tunnel and there was no traps out here. They'd probably kill it in one or two waves. This trap would be gone. That trap would be gone. Probably most of this trap would be gone. The other key to this strategy is you got to be either in a location that does not attract a lot of little husks, or got to have enough damage out here that the little guys are not getting in. They do not come this direction. So over here, I have sort of minimal damage to take care of whatever sort of random little husk decides to come over here. I got 4 darts up. I got 2 ceiling zappers. There's a 5th dart shooting through here. And also that dart. I did put floor spikes here. I have my little timeout room kind of built. I could probably do this a little better. I don't know that this is all that efficient, but it will put a smasher in here. You see I got the little wall up to force him toward the left-hand side of the trap and hopefully get booped into here and gobble up the 2 dynamos, the dart strike, and the ceiling zapper. This is just an insurance policy for like a husky husk gets in here, a riot husk gets in here. These 2 spike traps gonna, wail on them. I elected to start the tar trap on the 2nd tile in, and at that point I'm hoping the only thing that makes it this far is a smasher. And you can see how I set this up. Dynamo dart, a zapper, dynamo dart as I was explaining while I was building this up near home base, another dart. So this trap, this tile, you're going to get hit by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 damage traps. Once they're in this loop, he makes a step here. This process happens again. Dart, 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 dynamo. I'm sorry, zapper, and dynamo. And of course they get booped where? Right back here. Now, this guy is still going to have about 8 or 9 seconds left on a reset. That guy's got about 3 seconds left on a reset. 4. The smasher is stuck here. He's in a 3-second stun from that wall light. He gets out of the stun, walks here, and the whole process repeats. And he just gets boinked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth while everything resets until more smasher. I'm gonna real quick run over here, and at this particular amp, this particular geography, this particular scenario, the vast majority of the small husks want to path up around here and come toward that. With the build I have, I'm aware you can route the husk just about wherever the hell you want. You can close this off, you can close that one off, as long as you leave them somewhere to get where they want to go. You could have the sort of AFK UFO build, in which case none of this is relevant to you. Go find a different YouTuber to watch, because that's not what I'm doing here. At any rate, I elected, mostly because I was experimenting, I was like, let's leave them both open, let's see what happens. And I did. I might close off one or the other later on, but here's what I got going on today. So in this scenario, I got a lot more husks wanting to traverse across here and come through that sort of, like, I call it the main tunnel, because that's, in this scenario, that's what it is. And as such, I'm making them walk under 4 rows, tire drop traps over slanted terrain. All the tire traps are placed so the knockback functionality puts them pushed back this way. Nothing super complex or super fancy. Last little caveat about Mr. Tar Trap I want to talk about. The other thing that can burn up Mr. Tar Trap is you. There are firearms that light this tar on fire. Some do, some don't. There are traps that light this tar on fire. Some do, some don't. And will burn up your durability. The primary culprit for burning up your tar pit trap durability is these guys. Ceiling drop traps will trigger the fire effect on this tar pit. So putting tire drop traps over tar pit, at least in this scenario with what I'm trying to attempt, is a mistake. And tire traps are a little messy. There's a good bit of randomness to the way the tires drop. If I were to place one here, every once in a while, even though we're targeting this tile, you're going to see tires bounce and they're going to get in here and light this trap on fire. They can even get in here and light this one, but it is so rare, I'm not worried about it. I saw it happen only one time. I have not caught it on video. I can for sure tell you they are going to light this one up. You're wasting your time putting a tar trap right where I'm standing and a tire trap right there. As such, I switched all these tire traps over to ceiling electric fields so I can at least get some damage on them. And I had to let go of the tire trap right here once I had figured out that that was interfering with the tar. And one last thing, I want to talk about tire traps a little bit more to sort of conclude the video, because they are also an impact trap. They do impact damage. They have a knockback. Whoops, looks like I forgot to come in here on a little building ninja. So we'll just do it the fat constructor way. Alright, we're up on the roof. So you can get something like that going. I am 3 tiles up to take maximum advantage of tire bounciness and damage. And I'm just throwing these up there sort of arbitrarily, so the knockback is going to push them behind me. Okay, this doesn't fail, but it's counterproductive. Like, I think the game's been nerfed to the point where tar plus tire drops in a lot of scenarios is going to work with all these other traps I have decorating this up. Like, all this stuff is going to fire on them, and it's going to do what you want it to do. It's going to kill them. But every time those tire drop, they're going to burn up your tar. So, to me, I guess there's an argument for going ahead and making these damage instead of durability if you want that sort of fire effect that these are capable of to do its thing. It's not terrible damage. You could do it. You could totally do it. For what I was after, what it's not going to do is stop the Huss. You can't even push them into a timeout room, but that got to be, you know, kind of random to the point where I didn't really trust it to do. It doesn't function as well as Lights, the launcher, and Mr. Broadside did. But you will end up with some Huss getting booped into this room enough to fire whatever you got going on in here. If that entertains you, feel free to do it. What did work almost as well as what I showed you so far is now swap these out. Instead of the tar trap, we're going to go freeze. And that's going to be double reload, effect duration. Very important. You want the effect duration because the duration of the freeze is what we're after here. And also placement matters. Like this trap as placed, they're going to walk here, get frozen. When they pop out of the freeze, it's about the same as getting hit by that light. They're going to go and get knocked back. And they're going to walk into the trap again and get refrozen. So we can continue this. So for regular Huss, this is going to freaking annihilate everything. When the Smasher shows up, some weird things start happening because of the immunity to impact for 3 seconds after you break their impact threshold. So in this scenario, you'd probably do something like this. Boom, stick a dynamo there. Okay, and we would have a wall light back there, which I haven't built because I cannot build on that amp, but you get the picture. So now what's going to happen, they walk in here, the freeze triggers, they're frozen. The tires, the way the timing works out, it takes time for the tires to drop. You're going to see the tires hit after they're frozen. So a normal husk is going to get frozen. He's going to get hit by the tires while he is frozen. When the freeze leaves, they get knocked back. They come back in here. This whole process repeats ad infinitum until they're gone. It's unlikely they're going to make it to here with the setup I'm showing you right now. The exception is, you guessed it, smashers. Because of the immunity inspired by an impact threshold break, you're not going to get all those effects compounding as nicely as when a regular husk comes in here. But this does work almost as well as the light tar thing I showed you. In fact, I had this set up on Beach Amp on accident, where I had 4 freeze as shown. I had tire drops above as shown. I had a high impact trap here. I think it was a wall launcher at that point. Not really important whether it's a light or a launcher, I don't think. You're going to see the same thing. I can't even begin to tell you how all of this works precisely because it's rather random. Once smashers get in here, all the timings of the traps get unsynced. All these events are taking place at different times. But the net effect is, it is almost impossible for a smasher to make it here, even at really high level like 500 plus. Sometimes they will get frozen. Then they get hit by these traps and they get the damage bonus from being frozen, particularly the darts. Sometimes the tires impact damage will prevent or knock them out of the freeze and they'll proceed to the next tile. But that doesn't matter because this is all going to repeat and they're kind of stuck in a loop. Not efficient of a loop as lights and tar, like I showed you earlier, but it's really close. The other trouble I had here with the tires is even though you can directionally place this, with all this mayhem going on, it's a little bit random which way the smasher actually staggers. You should say by rights he should go this way, right? Because we placed our tires to knock him this way. We placed our freeze to knock him this way. In this instance, we have a wall light. It should knock him this way. Generally, it does. But there's kind of a billiard ball effect once they get into this scenario. In that, they don't always go exactly where you think they should. And sometimes they end up staggering off on a 45 degree. And it can be almost any direction. They can go this way, they can go that way, they can go end up over here. They're all over the place once you get all this crazy shit going on. They can even get knocked over or onto this little wall I got built here. A couple times I've seen them even get knocked in here, in which case they're going to try to break this and get out. They're going to try to break something and get out. So this scenario is a little bit more terrain dependent in that it's best if if you're blocked here and you can't build that dart behind because there's a wall there, a terrain feature behind it. This is a lot better option because if they get that stagger and it sends them over here, they're not going to bounce over that wall and wreck your stuff. The same thing can happen here, but in this particular instance, I've given them a way out. Right? They'll get knocked up onto this wall or the corner here, possibly drop over here, and they're just going to walk back around. So if you elect to go with floor freeze tire drop trap instead, just be aware that the little pinball thing going on, don't give them any low walls to get over, but they're just going to wreck it if they don't have an escape route. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun. doing all these builds and shooting some video. And I really enjoy Save the World, even though it's perhaps not being supported by the developers like we wish it would be. I'm still playing. And here we are. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.